What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. So I saw this photo surfacing on Facebook. There's this one and this one right here. So I wanted to give my 2 cents on the matter on what I think probably happened and how you could probably prevent this. So over the years, I've always seen a few different photos of, shelving collapsing or detolfs exploding and so forth. And I believe this is like one of the collector's worst nightmares. If you look at what actually happened on this photo, so whatever statues that were on this top shelf was clearly too much to handle for that shelf, or the shelf was improperly installed. So let's look at what happened. He has the Batman premium format. This looks like some sort of Batman statue, possibly 1/3 scale by Prime 1. There was Prime 1 Goku, and Prime 1 Goku is an extremely heavy statue, and he had the Super Saiyan 3 head on right here. He also had Last Sleep Goku, and I hear that's extremely heavy. And let's see, I think there's a Gogeta statue. Underneath, he had the Shogun Batman. Looks like the head's broken off. This Venom destroyed, and there's a bunch of statues. But I mean, realistically, there's probably over $10,000 worth of statues destroyed here. Now you can clearly see this looks like a metal shelf. And it looks like it was bent right here. Like just too much weight on this end. Yeah, even possibly Sume Broly or KD Broly. And some other like Naruto statues. And so this is some form of a garage shelving. Like, it's not my same type of shelf, but it is similar, like that metal backing and whatnot. I'm gonna assume this is probably overseas in like China that this happened. So I don't know the rating on these shelves. They're different than my garage shelves. My garage shelves uses wood, not like this metal. This metal kind of looks thin on the middle, like thick on the edge, but then thin on the middle, but if this this has always kind of been a fear of mine of what if, all of a sudden my Thanos bust collapses on my shelf, because that thing weighs like 250 pounds. And then we've also seen, I don't have any photos, but I've seen where detolfs have exploded or just shelves broke. And I kind of actually broke a detolf shelf on myself. It was just something stupid I did. It wasn't like the shelf collapsed just randomly. And I've also seen wall shelves break. I know Mr. X had one of his wall shelves that had his Sideshow endo and endo arm just come out of the freaking stud, he said, and completely broke. And I'm always scared when I see these collectors doing all these wall shelves, because I'm like, ugh. I don't fancy wall shelves, if I'm brutally honest. I don't like hanging heavy statues on walls. I try to avoid those statues. When I did like the Prime 1 Big Chap, I was always scared to do that. Because I was like, ugh, I always made sure I got at least one of the nail holes in a stud. The other, I simply couldn't, because they didn't align perfectly. Anyways, let me talk about some of the things that I think you can do to prevent this from happening. So I would say my heaviest shelf will probably be it's got to be my Thanos bust. This guy right here. So I get these garage shelves. This is typically from like Amazon, Walmart, Lowe's here in America. And mine is wood. It's, wood that's about yay thick. Now, I've done a few things to help, ensure mine won't just break. Now, the metal racking itself is pretty strong. Like, I've tried to bend it myself. It's pretty freaking strong. The wood definitely is not the strongest, and I feel like that would be the first thing to break, not the metal. And so the wood is your biggest enemy on these garage shelves. Now, I've taken the precaution of doing double wood, which obviously strengthens anything. If you get, you guys all know, like when you're in high school, they teach you where they'll get like one straw and then you break it easily. But then when you get a ton of them, they're super strong. In essence, ape strong together. So when you get multiple pieces of wood, it's much stronger. So I've done double wood on every one of these shelves. You know, it's like Wonder Woman horse, extremely heavy. That bust is pretty heavy. So I've done extra wood. That's why this sticks up higher, because I have done double wood on every one of these. You know, double wood there and so forth. You know, because these are all pretty heavy pieces. That thing weighs a ton. You know, enough. So there are some signs, obviously. You know, like the Thanos shelf, it probably is bowing a little bit in the middle just because that's where all the weight is at. But, you know, I sat on that shelf and I'm heavier than Thanos bust and I felt it very secure. I've done the double wood. So, I mean, really, you kind of just got to pray for the best. But these shelves are rated to hold 800 pounds. It says when the weight is evenly distributed. You know, and I think if you were to do the weight on one side versus the other, I mean, the metal is the strongest point, but then the middle is the more evenly weight. But doing double wood is definitely a safe precaution. It helps strengthen the overall shelf. Secondly, make sure your shelf is set up correctly. You know, I have these like covered, but it's two little things that insert and go down. You know, and you got to make sure they're completely down. Like I used a hammer when I set up these shelves and make sure they're actually in. Because there's actually been a few shelves, like my Marcus and Lycan shelf, my Resident Evil shelf, where I actually only had one of these installed. And I realized it later on. And I was like, what the heck? I only had one installed. And so, you know, you got to take those precautions. You know, like make sure you can fill it. Jupiter. And so, yeah, but you got to make sure the shelf is properly installed and, you know, the wood secure and so forth. You know, on Detolfs, one of the biggest reasons those have, you know, gotten destroyed over the years is they over tightened it. With the Detolfs, if you tighten the glass shelves too much, it puts too much pressure and it will break. You know, like this is the closest thing I have right now to a Detolf, you know, and you screw the things in, and when you just over tighten it, it puts too much pressure. So you don't want to over tighten anything. You know, you tighten something too much, puts too much pressure on it, and it will break. You know, but yeah, so nobody wants to come home to a broken statue shelf. So obviously set up your shelves correctly, ensure they can hold the proper weight, don't over tighten things when necessary. And last but not least, if you can, get insurance for these things. Like, so if that guy that had the broken shelf had like a statue insurance, there are specific statue insurance companies out there, you know, that if that happens to you, they will basically, you know, compensate you, like do an insurance claim. And that guy who probably lost $10,000 worth could file a claim and get $10,000. So I used to have a statue insurance for a company, and you know, and they insured accidental breakages and shipping breakages and all this. And I filed 2 claims with them utilizing the services. And after the 2 claims, they canceled my service. That's the biggest problem with insurance is after you file a claim, like 2 claims, they cancel you. Even shipping insurance, pirate ship. I've filed 2 claims with them, and then they canceled my ability to do insurance with them. You know, so it's like, if I'm going to do insurance, I can't use pirate ship anymore. They told me to use third-party insurance companies because they won't insure me anymore. So, yeah, that's my biggest problem with insurance is you can really only use it twice and then you're canceled, you know. So I guess if you have a small incident, just suck it up and not file a claim and only save it for the big ones, you know. But yeah, so that's kind of your only options, folks. You know, get insurance and save it for those big disaster events, not the little ones. And just make sure your shelves are properly installed and don't put too much weight if it can't handle it. That is one reason I decided to go the garage shelf route, you know, because it is advertised to hold 800 pounds per shelf. So theoretically, if you did like 3 shelves, you could hold 800 and 800 above, which I'm not planning on doing that. I never want to get close to the max weight, you know. And so I try to avoid the wall shelves at all possibilities, even if it's in the stud. I just don't like it. I don't feel comfortable. I avoid it at all costs. I don't like wall shelves. They may look cool, especially like the floating ones, but anytime I see someone putting like life-size busts like this on a wall shelf, I'm just like, dude, you got some guts. I don't trust it, because I know Mr. X, his shelf came out the stud with the Sideshow endo, which isn't even that heavy in the arm, but he lost like $4,000 worth of statues because of that, you know, what happened to him. And I would never want to risk that. So I really don't like having any wall shelves. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. You know, really, I wish that person would come forward and tell us, you know, a little bit more about their shelving and this, what happened. Usually in these situations, you find the pictures, but you never find what truly happened. It's kind of just a guessing game. But that's what I think happened. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.